Before we begin, let me give you a quick heads up. This video might change the way you think about one of the most common foods in your daily routine, eggs. You might be wondering, how could a simple ingredient like eggs possibly be dangerous? It sounds surprising, doesn't it? After all, eggs are packed with high-quality protein, essential vitamins, and healthy fats. They're easy to cook and available almost anywhere, making them a top choice for millions of people every day. Yet what if I told you that certain mistakes when preparing or storing your eggs could turn this nutritious powerhouse into a potential health risk, especially for seniors? That's exactly what we're going to discuss here. I want you to imagine the kitchen you've known for decades. Maybe you remember waking up to the smell of fried eggs on the weekends, or perhaps you have fond memories of soft-boiled eggs you'd enjoy with some toast and a cup of coffee. Eggs are not just food. They're part of our routine, part of traditions we pass down. But as we age, our bodies become more sensitive. We have to be more careful about the ways we handle, cook, and combine foods. Doing it wrong doesn't just result in a rubbery texture or a funny smell. It can contribute to chronic inflammation, digestive issues, and, in the worst cases, serious illness. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 5 mistakes that can make eggs bad for your health. I'm not here to scare you away from eating them. On the contrary, eggs can remain a fantastic part of your diet as long as you take a few key precautions. Don't click away, because missing out on these insights could deprive you of the many benefits eggs have to offer. And believe me, the older we get, the more critical it is to maximize nutrition and minimize dietary risks. By the end of this, you'll know exactly what you can do to keep your eggs both safe and delicious. Let's dive right into it. Mistake number 1, overcooking your eggs. It might seem trivial. What's the difference between frying them for 4 minutes versus 6, or boiling them a little bit longer? The truth is, high heat can cause the cholesterol in the yolk to oxidize, turning a good source of healthy fats into compounds that may be harmful if eaten on a regular basis. Eggs themselves are naturally rich in nutrients, vitamins A, D, E, and B12, plus minerals like selenium and choline. But prolonged or extremely high heat reduces these benefits. You might have seen that greenish-gray ring around the yolk of a hard-boiled egg. That's one sign the egg got overcooked. It's not immediately toxic, but it indicates the formation of iron sulfide, which also means you're missing out on the full nutritional punch. Seniors in particular want to avoid adding any extra stress to their bodies, especially in terms of heart health. Oxidized cholesterol has been linked in various studies to inflammatory processes in the body, the very ones that can complicate cardiovascular issues. Now I get it. Some of you might like your eggs crispy. My own father used to fry his eggs until the edges were golden brown, convinced that the crunch made them taste better. He did that for years without noticing any problem. But as he got older, he started feeling more frequent discomfort after meals. A checkup revealed that he needed to manage his cholesterol more carefully. One simple change he made: lowering the frying temperature and shortening the cooking time. Within a few weeks, he felt noticeably lighter and more energetic. If you love the taste of fried eggs, here's a tip. Cook them low and slow. That way you'll avoid browning them until they're hard and rubbery, and you'll keep a better nutrient profile. You might be surprised at how good they can still taste. Soft scrambling, light frying, or poaching can be gentle on both your taste buds and your body. Moving on to mistake number 2, eating eggs raw or undercooked. Now, I know this might sound obvious. You've probably heard warnings about salmonella for years, but a lot of folks still think raw eggs are some sort of secret protein hack. You see them in certain fitness communities, in homemade mayonnaise recipes, or even in cookie dough that people can't resist tasting. For seniors, though, raw eggs pose a much higher risk than you might realize. Our immune systems naturally weaken with age, so what might have just caused some mild discomfort a few decades ago could now be far more problematic. Salmonella, one of the most common bacteria found in improperly handled eggs, can lead to symptoms like fever, diarrhea, and severe dehydration. If you have other health conditions, especially those relating to digestion or kidney function, these symptoms can escalate quickly. There's a reason doctors tell expectant mothers, children, and older adults to steer clear of raw or runny eggs. On top of the bacterial risk, raw egg whites contain avidin, a protein that binds to biotin an essential B vitamin, preventing your body from absorbing it properly. Cooking deactivates avidin, ensuring that you get the full benefit of both the egg and other foods you might be eating alongside it. If you enjoy your eggs slightly runny, opt for pasteurized eggs, or at least make sure the whites are fully set, even if the yolk is still a bit soft. That way you reduce the chance of contamination while still enjoying that silky texture. Let's talk about a real-life example. My neighbor, a 68-year-old gentleman who swore by his daily raw egg shake. He believed it kept his energy levels high. Then one day he suffered a severe bout of food poisoning that landed him in the hospital. It turned out the culprit was salmonella from one of the eggs he cracked open raw. After that scare, he switched to thoroughly cooking his eggs in the morning. And guess what? He hardly noticed any difference in energy, but he definitely noticed the peace of mind that comes from a safer meal. If you still think raw eggs are the key to health, consider that cooking them removes nearly all the bacterial risk without sacrificing their nutritional value. Mistake number 3 is all about how you store your cooked eggs. Picture this scenario. You make a big batch of scrambled eggs and set them on the kitchen counter, planning to reheat them later. It's a time saver, right? Unfortunately, leaving cooked eggs at room temperature for too long is an invitation for bacteria to grow. Once the temperature hovers between 40 and 140 degrees Fahrenheit, 4 to 60 degrees Celsius, you've entered the danger zone for bacterial proliferation. Seniors are more susceptible to foodborne illnesses, and what might cause mild issues in younger adults can become quite serious if your immune defenses are lower. If you've ever felt a queasy stomach after microwaving leftover eggs from earlier in the day, that might be a clue. So, what's the best practice? First, let your cooked eggs cool down a bit, just enough so they aren't steaming, and then store them in an airtight container in the fridge. If you have leftover scrambled eggs or an omelet, try to eat them within 3 to 4 days. Hard-boiled eggs can last about a week if they remain in their shell. One trick my uncle swears by is writing the date on a piece of tape and sticking it on the container, so he never forgets how long they've been in there. That might seem like overkill, but trust me, a small habit like that could save you from a nasty episode of food poisoning. Another point, be careful about reheating your eggs, especially in the microwave. High uneven heat can not only damage the texture, but also create hot spots where bacteria might survive. If you can, gently warm them on the stovetop. And if you see or smell anything off, it's better to toss them than to risk your health. Moving along to mistake number 4, using cracked or expired eggs. It's easy to overlook that hairline crack on the side of the shell, especially if you're in a hurry. But even the smallest opening can let in bacteria. Eggs are perishable goods, and while they might look solid, their safety is often tied to how well the shell is sealed. If you notice any unusual odor, discoloration, or a cracked shell, it's safer to discard the egg. Trying to salvage a cracked egg by cooking it thoroughly doesn't always guarantee safety. Seniors in particular should be vigilant about this because, again, a compromised immune system makes any infection riskier. You might also wonder how reliable the expiration or best by date is on your carton of eggs. These dates aren't always perfectly accurate. Some eggs stay fresh a bit longer, while others might go bad sooner if they weren't handled properly during transit. One quick test is the float test. Gently place the egg in a bowl of cold water. If it sinks and stays at the bottom, it's fresh. If it stands upright on the bottom, it's still usable, but not at peak freshness. If it floats to the top, you should throw it out. I know a lot of you have probably used eggs past the date on the carton without issues, but if you see it floating, that's a major red flag. A story from my own family. My older brother used to keep eggs well past their printed expiration date. One day he cracked open an egg, and the smell alone was enough to convince him never to gamble again. Remember, a few cents saved by using a questionable egg isn't worth a trip to the hospital. Now that we've covered cracks and dates, let's look at how these mistakes tie in with the final mistake, combining eggs with unhealthy cooking oils. This might sound like something new. Aren't all oils basically the same? Turns out, not at all. Certain highly processed oils like generic vegetable oil, corn oil, soybean oil, and canola oil can become unstable at high temperatures. This instability can lead to the formation of harmful byproducts that add an inflammatory load to your body. Over time, chronic inflammation can contribute to conditions like arthritis, heart disease, and even cognitive decline. If you already have inflammation in your joints, for instance, adding more irritants through your diet isn't going to help. Here's a detail that often goes overlooked. Every cooking oil has a smoke point, the temperature at which it starts to break down. Many refined seed oils have relatively low smoke points, meaning they'll degrade and produce free radicals when your pan gets too hot. Free radicals are unstable molecules that can damage cells, accelerate aging, and put extra strain on your cardiovascular system. When you think about cooking eggs, you might be frying them or scrambling them on medium to high heat, which could be close to or beyond that smoke point. The result is an egg dish that's less nutritious than you might hope and more inflammatory than you'd like. On the flip side, there are plenty of healthier fats you can use. One classic choice is real butter, which is stable enough for moderate heat. Some people worry about the saturated fat in butter, but remember, moderate use in a balanced diet is generally fine for most people. Another great option is extra virgin olive oil, well known for its heart-healthy, monounsaturated fats. Avocado oil is also stable at higher temperatures. Coconut oil can be good too, though it has a distinct flavor some people don't like. The key is to avoid those heavily processed vegetable oils that have been stripped of natural antioxidants. It might feel strange at first to switch from canola to olive oil or to try something like avocado oil, but once you notice the difference in taste and how you feel after meals, you might not go back. One gentleman I know decided to stop using seed oils entirely after learning about their potential link to cardiovascular issues. He was in his late 60s and had a family history of heart disease, so every bit of prevention mattered to him. The first week he switched to olive oil, he felt uncertain because the flavor was different from what he was used to. But after a month, not only did he get used to it, he actually preferred the taste. He reported less bloating after meals and an overall sense of better digestion. While anecdotal, his experience matches the broader research indicating that replacing refined seed oils with healthier fats can have a positive impact on inflammation and cholesterol profiles. At this point, you might be thinking, do I really have to worry about all these details just to make a couple of eggs in the morning? I understand that feeling. Habits are hard to change, especially if you've been cooking a certain way for decades. But consider how vital every small step is once you reach a certain age. Our bodies are less forgiving of repeated mistakes, and issues that might have seemed minor in your 30s can become major in your 60s and 70s. That's why these tips matter so much. Let's do a quick recap to tie everything together. First, avoid overcooking your eggs. Keep the heat moderate, whether you're frying, scrambling, or boiling. This simple change helps preserve nutrients and cuts down on the formation of oxidized cholesterol. Second, don't risk eating eggs raw or severely undercooked. The threat of salmonella might be low, but it's definitely not zero, and if you're in a more vulnerable age group, it's not worth the gamble. Third, store your cooked eggs properly. Bacteria thrive at room temperature, so get them refrigerated in an airtight container once they've cooled down. Keep track of how long they've been there, and don't push your luck beyond 3 or 4 days for scrambled or fried eggs and about a week for hard-boiled. Fourth, do not use eggs that are cracked or past their prime. Check for any noticeable odor or color changes. Use the float test if you're unsure. Eggs are relatively cheap. Your health is priceless. Finally, switch out those highly processed oils for healthier alternatives, like olive oil, butter, or avocado oil. This small shift can reduce inflammation and keep your cardiovascular system happier. Now, if you're still with me, it means you're truly committed to understanding these nuances. That level of dedication will pay off in the long run. Small changes accumulate to create significant positive differences in how you feel day to day. And if you're like me, you're looking to enjoy life's simple pleasures, like a tasty breakfast, while staying healthy and energetic for as long as possible. I want you to picture your morning routine a few weeks from now. Maybe you're gently scrambling your eggs on a medium-low flame with a dab of olive oil. You've checked the shells for cracks. You're mindful of how long you leave them out before refrigerating any leftovers. By incorporating these minor tweaks, you'll be giving yourself the best chance at reaping all the wonderful benefits eggs provide. Whether it's better mental clarity from the choline or stronger muscles from the high-quality protein, you'll be able to enjoy these perks without worrying about hidden health pitfalls. Also, let's not forget that staying informed about food safety and preparation isn't just about eggs. It's a principle you can apply to most foods you cook. As we mature, we accumulate wisdom about what works for our bodies and what doesn't. But there's always something new to learn. Science keeps evolving, and new studies shed light on how best to protect our health. One thing, however, stays constant. The more proactive you are, the better your outcome will be. If you found value in these insights, feel free to share your thoughts with the community. Let us know in the comments which of these 5 mistakes you found most surprising or which one you're guilty of making. Perhaps you've been overcooking your eggs out of habit for years, or maybe you had no idea that certain oils were so damaging at high heat. Remember, it's never too late to make a positive change in your lifestyle. And hey, if you've discovered a perfect way to cook eggs that avoids all these pitfalls, share it. Others will benefit from your experience. Before we wrap up, here's a final hook to keep you thinking about your next steps. Did you know that including the right fats alongside your eggs can actually enhance the absorption of certain fat-soluble vitamins they contain? This is a direct reason to choose quality oils. And if you're a fan of adding vegetables like spinach or tomatoes to your scramble, those vitamins and antioxidants might be better absorbed when cooked with a stable, healthy oil rather than a refined seed oil. Think of your meal as a holistic package where each ingredient works in harmony or conflict with the others. The way you combine them truly matters. So the next time you crack open an egg, remember these 5 critical points. Pay attention to heat levels, cooking duration, storage techniques, shell integrity, and oil choices. Nothing is complicated once you get used to these guidelines, but they can make a world of difference in the long run. Whether you're making a simple breakfast or an elaborate brunch for friends and family, being mindful about these details ensures that you're not just eating eggs, you're nourishing your body, protecting your well-being, and setting the stage for a healthier, happier future. That's it for today. If you're still here, congratulations. You've taken a major step in optimizing your health. Don't let these tips fade away. Start applying them right now. The next time you head into the kitchen, review what you've learned, and maybe re-watch this video if you need a refresher. And if you want more advice on practical ways to maintain a strong body and sharp mind as you age, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. You deserve to feel your best every single day, and I'm here to help you reach that goal one meal at a time. Thank you so much for watching and being part of this community dedicated to health, happiness, and longevity. Take these tips to heart, share them with a friend who might be making these mistakes, and enjoy your eggs the right way. Stay safe, stay healthy, and remember, small changes can lead to big improvements in your quality of life. Until next time.